right, guys. Good evening and welcome to Boss Talk with the Empowerment Maven. It's your girl Dime checking in. And tonight we have a very special guest, Miss Steph Shanks. How are you this evening?
I am fantastic and I'm super grateful to be here. So thank you.
It is an honor and pleasure to have you joining me tonight. So, just a little bit about Steph. She's a portrait and headshot photographer who believes in the power of being seen and authentic. And that resonated with me because you guys know how much I love unapologetically being your unauthentic self. She also hosts a podcast called Unwritten. And that's where people share their stories about business triumphs, hardships, and using storytelling as a tool for healing. And I absolutely love that, especially because I'm all about empowerment, women being able to heal. Not just women, everyone needs to heal, but because I work with women, we
Yeah.
especially deal with different challenges in life that we need to heal from. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to have you on the show tonight and welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So, in your words, Steph, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. Like a lot of photographers, I specialize in portraits and headshots. What I've really found in the last few years is that I really like working with women over 40 because I feel like after 40, we kind of find ourselves again. And what I mean by that is a lot of us, our kids are past the point where they need all the attention. Um, we're just at a different stage in life than in our 20s and 30s. So um, that's that's what I do. I really help women see what I see. So that means I see everybody's things that they don't like to see. They don't. Let's say they have a colic or one of their eyes is a different size, whatever it is. We all have stuff, and I just find that the more unique and different we are, the better we are. We don't all have to look the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We live in a world where we think we have to be perfect, and there is a such thing as perfection. But I believe, perfection is in the eye of beholder, just like beauty, as they say. Um, no one's perfect. We all have flaws, but it's about embracing them and being
E-
yourself. So I absolutely
Exactly.
love, especially the fact that you work with women over 40. I love that. That definitely resonates with me. Um, I'm gonna need you to give us some tips, some poses and things like that. So definitely.
Yeah.
So, um, well, tell me about your favorite photo shoot. I would just love to know. I'm intrigued now.
I can talk about one of the recent ones that I did. And what I loved about it was a woman and she had just finished school. So she's become not a psychologist, but a mental health counselor. And we were going through her images, and she said something along the lines of, I've never seen myself look like a teacher. I've only seen myself looking like a student. So to see that transformation in her through her eyes was really
Beautiful.
special. Um, Sometimes we just need some extra help to, or even a mirror.
Absolutely.
If I can be a mirror for somebody to show them how beautiful and strong they are, that's that's my job. So when I get to see it in other people and they have that realization in front of me, like, wow, look how far I've come. It's it's amazing.
It's beautiful watching someone transform. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really powerful. And through my own transformation process, I feel like I'm attracting those clients that are going through something similar too. So it's just it's a really amazing time in my life and my business.
I love that. Well, since we're on that topic, tell us what inspired you to start your journey into photography.
Well, I started my journey when I was a kid and I was always taking pictures, but it wasn't until my youngest son was born and I was posting pictures of him on Facebook
Okay.
that people started asking me to take pictures of their kids. And from there, I started getting clients, like, started shooting weddings, but it wasn't until 2012 when I went full time into my business because I have, a son that has cerebral palsy, and
Yes.
they were facing budget cuts at school, and he wasn't gonna be able to go on the field trips if I wasn't there, and, my first husband was in prison, and, I mean, all this stuff was happening to me, and I was trying to pretend like I was fine, and I wasn't. So the only thing I knew to do was to try to create a business
Okay.
for my family that worked because I was a single mom and uh, I didn't I didn't know if it was going to work, but I knew I had to try. So that's kind of how it all began, and so that was full time 2012. So that was 12 years ago now.
Congratulations.
Thank
Going
you.
not knowing if it's going to work to being able to sustain it. That's a
I
beautiful.
know. It is. Sometimes I forget, like, okay, I actually am sustaining it because, when the clients don't come in or you start doubting yourself, and then I have to remind myself, no, I've been doing this for 12 years. And if the clients do stop, which they most likely won't, I have the tools I need to transform and do something else or, you know.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to celebrate that. Yes, that is beautiful. I love it. We don't give ourselves enough credit. We're looking at the right now, but it's like, where did we come from? We
Yeah.
started from here. And thank you so much for sharing that. You segued into the next question
Okay.
because you are dealing with being a single mom,
Yeah.
a son with cerebral palsy. How has that, outside of starting the business, also influenced your business?
Well, a quick little backstory. I was a teen mom as well. So I had twins at 16. So,
Ooh,
I have been a mom longer than I've been alive. So I feel like with my business and being a mom, it's they've always kind of balanced each other out. I wouldn't have had the drive to start my business if it wasn't for my kids. I wanted something more for them, and I knew the only way to do that was to give myself more. And it's just a journey, it's a process. Now my twins are 26 and I have a 16-year-old that's here with me now, so he's my baby and I'm homeschooling him. So it's always just been about how can I, not be the best mom, but the best version of myself for my
absolutely.
kids.
Absolutely. And you are doing an amazing job. That is wonderful. I love
It-
it.
it's a lot, but yeah, I mean, I'm only doing the best I can, right? That's all we can do.
That's all we can do. The
Yeah.
best that we can. That is all. And we have to be able to learn to celebrate that. We are so hard on ourselves often. You know, it is. That's why I love celebrating the small wins because we already are beating ourselves up over every decision we make for not only ourselves but our children.
Yeah.
The advice we give our friends. What are we doing in our business? What are we doing in our career? What's my parents going to think? We're trying to please everyone and be everything for everyone, and we just forget to celebrate where we've come from, how much we've done, and how far we've come. So,
Yeah.
um, in your business, you talk about the power of being seen.
Yeah.
How do you help people bring out their authentic selves in your photography?
I kinda act like a big dummy. So, I like to sing and dance and tell stupid jokes, to just, like, get people to realize life doesn't have to be so serious, and you know what it's like being in front of the camera, it's scary,
It is.
and I just try to bring out that fun side, that real side, so we laugh, sometimes we cry, uh, it's just really I kinda just follow the client's lead
Okay.
and just try to make the best experience possible. That's how I help people be seen.
I love that. Your photo shoot with you sounds so fun. Like we could put the music, and I'm thinking about myself dancing because I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
you ever watched Seinfeld. I'm like an Elaine dancer, you know.
That's okay. I
So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a dancer. It's just about having fun and we just talked about it. You celebrate who we are and the wins, and you just see what happens.
absolutely. Well, let's talk about your podcast. I'm gonna have to come be a guest now. Like I'm so
Yes,
intrigued.
you have to. Yes, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Um, so I've been on a bit of a journey since the beginning of June. So a couple years have gone by since my divorce, my second divorce, and I was so worried about making it on my own that I kind of let myself go.
Okay.
Meaning I wasn't taking care of myself like I should.
All right.
So since June, I cut out all the sugar and the carbs.
Okay.
And what I learned was that it freed up my mind, like the anxiety and the stress kind of went away.
Wow.
And yeah, so I always wanted to do a podcast. And then uh, I was on some podcasts and I found how storytelling is so powerful because when you use your words, it brings all that shame to light, and shame can't exist in light.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to be not I wanted to be, but I wanted the podcast just to be a platform for people to share their stories and
Okay.
the healing process of storytelling. And I've done about 17 now. It's been phenomenal, and I'm just getting excited for the next season. I'm kind of wrapping down season 1, and
Okay.
gosh, I've learned so much. I'm sure you have too. Every time I talk to somebody, I learn something, and it's just the most
Absolutely.
amazing thing. Yeah, super
Absolutely.
powerful.
And you make a connection sometimes that's just like so strong and like where have you been? You can relate to that person. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I absolutely love being able to have people come on and they be very open to having conversations and being intimate because you are telling about your life, you're letting people in, and that is intimate and hope that they respect you. So yes, I love being able to learn about people, also learn more about podcasting in itself because that is a journey. You always think that you're going to come out perfect and you have your outline and you think everything is going to go just down this checklist, and that's not how life goes. So why would a podcast go that way?
yeah. You think your mic's gonna work and your camera's gonna work and doesn't, and but you just have to keep rolling with it. Yeah, same as life.
Yes. So far with 17 podcasts, do you have a favorite moment or a favorite show that you had?
I don't have a favorite show. I have favorite moments, and it's those moments where, and I will reference you because you've been doing this a while. You get better at asking the right questions. So, when I ask the right question and we go super deep, and at the end of it, they're like, wow, I didn't like that
Okay,
was really great. Like they discovered something about themselves in it, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, I don't want to know about your essential oil business, or that's just an example, right? So,
Right.
I had a woman, she's like, "Well, I love essential oils. They've saved my life." That's nice, but like, who were you before the essential oils? And what was it that led you to the essential oils?
Right.
Like following that, I wanna know I don't wanna know what you're promoting, I wanna know who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your story. I want to
Your
hear your
story.
story.
Yeah.
I want to. There's so much power in a story, um, in all aspects. No matter what you're trying to do in your life, whether you're giving advice, whether you're in business, and branding, um, when you're trying to make a connection and resonate with your audience, your story is what people buy into, so to speak. That's what they resonate with. That's the actual word. Um, it's kind of like when you go to the store, right? There's Colgate, there's Crest. What makes you decide between the two? When you're
Right.
calling into a place and you didn't call to buy anything and they're in the process of their sales pitch, you're buying into that person. I've I said that to say I worked in the customer service field for a long period of time, whether it was sales, customer relations, talking to people,
Yeah.
and people would tell you their story.
Yeah.
And I heard some amazing stories, some sad stories, um, stories that I was like, I can't believe you're telling me this on the phone and we just met 5 minutes ago.
Means you're a
But
good listener.
I can be. I can be. I used to say it was a gift and a curse. My report card did read talks too much. But enough about me. Sorry about that.
No, this is great.
Tell
Yeah.
us about more about motherhood and balancing your business because I'm a mom as well, and I know whew, that is always a struggle for me. Am I making enough time for them? I have to do certain things with them, and then I've got to put all of this time into my business. How do you balance?
Is there such a thing? I mean,
See?
it because, when you ask that question, I start thinking about my parents and, what they need, and that we have kids that need stuff and our businesses need stuff. And I had a really profound moment this morning, and I realized how much of my life I spend trying to live up to what I think other people's expectations are of me,
Mm-hmm,
and realizing how much I've limited myself based on that projection.
mm-hmm,
And with parenting, it's like I in 26 years, I don't think I've ever felt like I have done a great job. I've never patted myself on the back and been like, "You know what? You did really good today. That was a hard day and you did it." It's like you just I just haven't taken that time to find the balance. It's like, "All right, now uh especially now with homeschooling, it's like, "All right, I have 45 minutes now. I got to come up with my math questions for tomorrow." And I don't know. Have you found balance? Or, I mean,
So when
what do
you
you
said, "Is
do?
there such thing?" I was like, "Yes, someone understands. There, someone feels like me. Is there really a balance?"
I wish there
Because
was, but I don't, as moms, I don't know.
I think balance is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'll dig a little more and just say, um, I think we put too much pressure on ourselves to, like you said, to live up to the expectations of what what we saw on TV.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the Cleavers and the Huxtables, and we saw the working mom, and she still came home and her hair was perfect. She still cooked dinner. She still had time for the kids. She still tucked them in. She still had all of this energy, and that's not really reality. So I have found myself saying F it. Um, it's kind of one part of my brand where it's like F the expectations of what society says this is supposed to look like. Um, for instance, I'm in order for me to be beautiful, I have to look a certain way. And I start feeling bad for myself because I don't look that way. In order for me to be successful, I have to walk this path. You know, you have to go to school, you have to go to college, then you have to work here, and then can you try to venture off into your own. So I don't subscribe to certain words that I ask people about, like balance. I make time for my children. So like Sunday is a family day. We'll do game nights on like a Friday or a Saturday. My youngest is 8, so I have 6.
Okay. What's the oldest?
23.
Okay.
So 23, 20, 17, 16, 10, and 8. When he comes home from school now, and I've been working, well, as of last Friday, I became a CEO full time. But prior to that,
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's awesome.
I worked and I worked from home because COVID happened. So I have been home for the last 4.5, 5 years. And it didn't seem like I was at work.
Yeah.
At least my son, my youngest, didn't think I was. So for him, when I started really digging into business and setting boundaries and schedules, he, I, at first, he didn't take to it really quickly. You know, it was kind of, but still, he was knocking on the office door. I'm in a meeting. He's like, then he come back 10 minutes later. Anyway, he finally got the point. So they have days. And yes, all of them are still here with me.
Okay.
It's a large house. We even have a guinea pig.
What's its name?
George Hunter.
I love it that he has 2 names.
Yes, the 8-year-old. It was his guinea pig,
Okay.
and it has become my guinea pig now.
Oh.
Yes. So, but yes. Do you guys have any pets? Are you a pet mom?
Yeah, I have a dog and a cat. It's my son's cat, you know.
Okay.
It's supposed to be his cat, but I am usually the one taking care of it. But um yeah, those I think in my as I transition more into just being in my own power, I think I'm going to have better boundaries with my kids because they are older.
Yeah.
With my mom, she worked all the time. So she worked, she would get home at 6 p.m. at night. So my brother and I, we would get off the bus and, eat a bunch of crappy snacks and uh, we were just alone. And so for the longest time, I'm like, well, my kids aren't going to, I don't want that for my kids. And so but at the same time, because I wasn't healed, I was just trying to like solve my own healing through them. I
Um,
I I have really bad boundaries with my kids and
okay.
really anybody, especially kids. I have actually 4 stepkids from my last marriage,
Okay.
and I have a hard time
Say
with
no.
boundaries with them. Yeah, yeah, but I'm getting better.
Are both of your parents still alive?
They are, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah, and they're getting to the age where they need stuff too, and it's just like it's
Okay.
definitely not what we thought it was going to be. Yeah, like a TV show. Um, you have the perfect house, the perfect husband, the perfect job, yeah, perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect kids, and the problems that you have are solved within 30 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you go to bed and everything's bright and sunny the next day. It definitely is not like that. I would not recommend, if this was an Amazon review, 0 stars, okay? Highly would not recommend. It is not for the weak. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I started the podcast, so I'm learning how to edit video, and I'm running my business, and I'm homeschooling, and I have the dog and the cat, and yeah, it's like where it's not where does it stop, but it's like when you're forcing me to take a look at my whole day and my structure of my day, and it's like, "Oh, I don't really spend a lot of time just for myself. If I go on a walk, it's because I have to walk the dog." I try to incorporate everybody else into the things that I feel like I should do for me. And yeah, it's not the
Mm.
best space to be in, I guess. Oh, and I'm writing a book, so I do that every morning. I write so that's for me. There's things that are
Oh,
happening for me that I'm in it. I'm in my life. I'm not thinking about
okay.
yeah.
So, with you writing the book, do you find, and I'm going to use the word journaling because that's what I call it in our workshops. Do
Yeah.
you find it's therapeutic for you? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love it.
I'm I'm going through the layers. Like
Okay.
I don't know if you have this, but I always have like these stories replaying in the back of my head over something that's happened. Um, so writing it out kind of stops those stories. It's almost like my brain has been wanting me to get this out. So it calms me.
I love it. We have so much in common. I just love listening to you. Um, it's just, it's refreshing.
Yeah, same.
It's
Yeah.
real, it's honest, and it's like I can resonate. Um, I just started, well, actually started and finished because it went like this, a book, and that's how I came up with the Effort brand. It's really, and I took that long pause because it's like, it's really about saying effort to society's standards and letting go of that pressure and the resentment and anger. So the first book is Effortless Heal, and just letting it all out.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think we often take time to process trauma,
Yeah.
and writing can be very therapeutic for that. So I love it. Do you want to share with us what it's about or not yet?
Yeah. So being a teen mom, there's so much trauma that was in that. From I never thought I could get pregnant, never thought I was pregnant. I was gaining weight, but there's no way I could be pregnant. At 16, you just don't no, that's not happening to me. And, when I eventually one of my teachers told the guidance counselor who told my parents came pick me up from school at 16, and they take me to the doctor, and it's like I'm pregnant, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm pregnant, still not even processing it, and then my body shutting down, so I have preeclampsia.
Oh my
They send
God.
they send me to the ho this is all in the same day. They send me to the hospital. I'm having an ultrasound, they're trying to bring down my blood pressure, and they realize that there's twins, and I am having contractions. And, uh, within a week I had them, they were able to I'm pretty sure it was a week. It's a little foggy because it was so traumatic. Um, Within a week I had them, and they were born at 26, 28 weeks, something like that. So they were like these tiny little red babies, and I couldn't believe that that came out of me. The whole process, and then they had, then we find out we bring them home after 3 months, and we find out that they have disabilities from being premature, and all this stuff has always been just in my brain, and I've functioned really well without processing it, but this book has really
Right.
forced me to write it out, but in a way
Okay.
that it's like, this is how I processed it, and all
Okay.
the things I've done, meditation, journaling, uh,
Okay.
massage therapy, physical touch, all the things that I've done to heal myself too. And,
Massage
um,
therapy.
yeah, the twins, because of their special needs, the doctors were like, "You need to learn baby massage." So I learned infant massage, which actually led me to, that was my first career. I became a massage therapist for about 12 years, and that's how
Wow.
I got out of my parents' home. I got my first house, with my twins, like, so massage therapy was really a great fast track way to get my life going.
That is amazing. And
Yeah.
again, I say congratulations because you have accomplished much.
Y
I mean,
yeah.
as a teen mom having one child,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then to have two,
Yeah. I
to
always
have,
knew, though. I
you
always
did.
knew I always knew there was more than, and that would just might be my creative brain,
Okay.
but I always knew there was more than what it what what I had, what I was seeing, what I was dealing with. It's like someday I'm gonna use this for good.
Okay. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of you. So, well, yes, congratulations with this book. I can't wait for you to finish and for it to come out. We'll definitely have to have you come back so we can do a launch for it.
Yeah.
Um, what else are you working on?
That's it. Just really growing my business, being a leader in my community, a leader for other women to look up to that are maybe going through some really hard things.
Right.
And I just want people to know that you can heal, and it's not always going to be this way. So that's my message. And if I can reach as many people as I can with that message, then I'm that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is why we will definitely have to collaborate because that is the message.
Love
When
that.
heal, you open up it's like you unlock the cheat code in your brain and your life, and you can do amazing things once you let the baggage go.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fear of other people's opinions, that's been my biggest challenge thus far. Yeah.
And I can understand that. I mean, we all want, even myself, I other people's opinion used to make me so angry. And I don't even know why. Why do I care what you think about me?
Yeah. Why did you? Do you know now?
I still don't know.
Yeah.
Still don't know. Maybe that needs to be something I dig into next. I'm digging into so much as it is. Maybe
You're like, I don't have time for that one.
excuse me. Maybe we'll discover it along the way. But no. Um, yeah, letting go of other people's opinions, thoughts, standards, you
Yeah.
know, that is a different type of freedom. But as I say that, I think about people call people that are authentically them and don't conform to society rebels. They're rebellious.
Yeah.
Did you get, and I'm asking this because yes, I didn't get into a lot of trouble. I just didn't accept any and everything as an answer. And I was very smart. And so I might have been a little rebellious, maybe. I don't know. Um, were you a rebellious child?
Um, I was, probably very similar to you, a little
Okay.
bit. I mean,
Okay.
there's definitely people that were, I definitely challenged. other people's viewpoints,
That's
and I always got in trouble for that.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that that has helped you actually in life, by not just accepting what someone says, and that has helped you become your authentic self?
Yeah, for sure. It's still not easy, because there's such a big part of me that still wishes that um, I I've always felt unworthy, and it stems back to, you know, a feeling I had from my parents, um, when the twins were born. You know, they kinda accepted the twins, but not me, and so for a very long time, I've wanted to prove that I am lovable.
Okay.
And, realizing that I do that unconsciously in every situation, and I will put myself into situations where it's really uncomfortable,
Okay.
just because I want to try to make somebody like me, and it's an awareness that I have now, but it's yeah, it's definitely, when you live your life trying to please other people versus just trying to figure out who you are, it's a rough road.
Trust me, I understand. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we put so much, so many stigmas out into the world. And I was just actually, before I joined you, I was talking to my mom about that. There's a stigma on mental health.
Yeah.
There's that, so much so that we are willing to ignore signs that we see early in our children just out of embarrassment.
Yeah.
And
I
that
know
is
that.
why it's, I mean, I don't understand it. No, I don't. I usually try to see like two sides of something, but I don't understand the stigma behind it because a person is born the way that we are. And because we were all born imperfect, and there are so many different variations of things in this on this earth that can harm us, that we breathe in, that we
Yeah.
eat. You know, we are blessed when we can have a child come out with no special needs. But we often take that for granted.
Yeah. And there's so many special needs. It doesn't have to be just
Mental
physical
health,
and mental
yes,
health. Yeah.
mental, physical. There are so many. I My nephew is autistic, and he actually went from talking to completely speechless, no words, none whatsoever. That is hard to deal with and understand. And I mean, we were all teenagers. When I first got married, I was 19. Um, I had my first child at 18. My first husband I had known since I was 11, but it wasn't one of those fairy tale kids like we went through school together and were high school loves. He was
Yeah.
already older than me. But anywho, we have some actual ladies in the chat. Good evening, guys. I'm so sorry that I missed we were vibing out here. But yeah, there shouldn't be a stigma upon that. I mean, there's no family on this earth. There's not one that I personally think that has no one in their family without some type of special need, whatever that may be.
Yeah. I never thought about that, but that's very true. Yeah.
It's too
But yet,
many people on this earth.
yeah, but yet it's still, yeah, it's a stigma, even though it shouldn't be at
We
all.
should. And parents, I know this is like totally off topic, but I want to
No,
tell
I
you
love
guys,
it.
it's okay to acknowledge that there might be something special, different, or unique about your child.
Yeah.
It starts with you in the home because the child doesn't know. It's
Right. Yeah,
okay.
they're just them.
Yeah, they don't know. So it's okay to step out and seek help early on so that you can know how to deal with your child and your child can understand that they are just unique. It's nothing wrong with them. Because going through school and life, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
People don't appreciate special or unique.
Yeah.
There's not even a normal on
Society
this earth.
doesn't.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. You know, with my son.
at all. And these kids are getting more and more evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
We,
I think we had a slight delay. You were saying about,
can you hear me okay now?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, with my son, well, both my twins, they both have disabilities, but one is in a wheelchair. So it's obvious that he has a disability, and the other one it's not. And
Right.
you know, is it better to not see it? Is it better to see it? There's no,
Mm,
you know, we all have stuff. It's just,
we do.
yeah,
Do. We absolutely do. Even if it's undiagnosed, there are thousands and probably millions of people walking around with undiagnosed issues that you don't find out until later on in life something was wrong
oh
or
yeah. I have had, I don't, I'm like super introverted. I don't have a ton of friends, and I've had 3 or 4 friends be diagnosed with ADHD in their 40s, you know, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, this is why I am how I am." You know,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, it's good. It's good that they're getting the help they need, but
yeah,
it would have been helpful to have it earlier. Or autism, you know, or being on the spectrum. Like there's adults in their 30s and
absolutely.
40s now that are they're finally getting a diagnosis, and yeah, it's crazy.
I I don't know how people are getting diagnosed. I said myself, I actually need the diagnosis. I diagnosed myself. But my brother has adult ADHD. These that is something that's real.
Yeah.
My attention span is about that long. Memory is forgetful. My calendar is ridiculous because I need to have that type of structure to remind me I've got all type of alarms. People, um, I do. Those people that say I text you and you never responded until 2 days later. Let me tell you what happened. You text me, I pick up the phone and respond. Something happened that took my mind off finishing what I was doing, and then I went on about my day.
Yep. Yeah.
Completely.
Well,
My
you might
mom
have
is getting on my brother all the time. Like, you can remember to call me. You can remember to text me. He's like, Mom, I got adult ADHD. I don't remember. Bro, you want to stop using that excuse, but I understand.
right. That's it. It's the understanding of how my brain works or how your brain works, and it's just, you know, it's just it's nice to have answers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing that you can't learn to work around in life. Even people with dyslexia, they find a way to learn. They find a
Yeah.
way to function in society. Um, it's just all about understanding and having the knowledge and action and patience.
Yeah.
Patience. Patience goes a very long way.
It does. It's the
I'm
hardest.
sorry, we've got so sidetracked from but, but it's in a strange way. We actually touched on a lot of things that I was going to ask. So I love to be able just to have a back and forth conversation versus just interviewing a person and playing 20 questions.
Me too, yeah. I get to know you a little better, you know, I wanna know who you are too, so it's nice to have a conversation.
Absolutely. Okay. So what advice would you give our young photographers, future photographers, people who want to get into this?
The best advice I can give is to get a business coach. Um, because with photography and any other business where anybody and everybody can be a photographer,
Yes,
or if it's a saturated market, you have to figure out a way to differentiate yourself from others, and what's worked best for me might not work best for you. um, but don't compare your prices to other photographers, don't compare your work to other photographers. Find what you need out of the business, and a lot of times just starting out, you need somebody that's going to guide you through that process.
absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Um, with photography, what would you say your biggest challenge was?
My biggest challenge was and always will be thinking I'm not good enough. I can have 50 clients leave me 50 reviews about their experience and that they love their photos, and I'm still it's hard for me to accept that I'm good enough with my work. Um,
Okay.
that's a hard thing to talk about because nobody wants to say that out loud when you have a successful business, like, "Oh, I don't feel good enough," but yeah, is that imposter syndrome maybe? It's yeah, that's the hardest thing is imposter syndrome.
What it is, but it's real, and it's what a lot of us feel.
Yeah.
Even myself, actually, I just talked about this in August, when we had the first Women of Success panel. I've stood in plenty of places and didn't feel like I belonged or I was good enough to be there. I didn't sound a certain type of way. I didn't look the way that I was supposed to look. And it is hard getting out of that mindset and understanding that you do belong here. You are good enough. You have the knowledge, the experience, the passion, whatever it is that's driving and motivating you to do this. So I understand completely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just always things to work on,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
just always absolutely, absolutely. I've enjoyed talking to you. I almost don't want to let you go, but I know we all have other
Yep.
things to do, plans. But I definitely hope I get an opportunity to speak with you again. Tell the people where they can find you at if they want to book you, what state you're in, the best way to contact you.
Sure. My website is stephshanks.com, just like my name, and I'm in Wisconsin, a little tiny town called Baraboo, Wisconsin, and, um, I'm pretty active on the socials too, but I
Okay.
think, and my podcast, it's called Unwritten, and that's on Spotify
Yes.
and YouTube. So that's it.
You guys check the comments. So I put the stephshanks.com and then, of course, her podcast, Unwritten, which we didn't get to dig in as deep as I wanted, but we got on a runaway train.
No,
Um,
that's great,
but
yeah.
yeah, make sure you guys go to YouTube right now, like, comment, subscribe, watch one of her shows.
Thank
They can
you.
reach you on your website if they want to be a guest.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and I'm really excited for season 2. I'm gonna name it Breaking Free.
Oh, yes. Okay. So really quickly, while we're here, I wanted to ask you, tell us about your vision for season two.
Oh, yeah, season 2 is just gonna be a little more, it's not gonna be more scripted, but I'm gonna be a little more careful about the guests that I have on, which I would love to have you on as a guest, uh, and it's really talking about those barriers, that mindset that has kept you back, held you back forever, and it's how you
Yes.
got through that. It's okay, when did you notice it? When did you even notice
Ah,
you were the one holding yourself back, right? So when you hold yourself back, your whole world is held back. And when you open it, your world opens up. So those are the guests I'm looking for season 2.
Oh, yes, I would be honored. We must. I'm going to email you, or you email me, send me the calendar, however you want to do it, so that I can
Yeah.
jump on there.
Yeah.
You're going to laugh at me because it literally wasn't until this June that I was able to break free of it. And I'm talking about years
Yeah.
and years. It was June, but I'll save that story for your show. Um, oh
Yeah,
my
I'm
goodness,
curious now, but yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll hold on to that.
we will, because I you're gonna laugh at me. I mean, I had bought my last product and I was like, I'm not spending another dollar. I was so fed up.
Yeah.
So yes, I would
And you
love.
did it.
I did. And every day I reaffirmed to myself I made the right decisions. I'm on the right path. I asked God to align my steps. I'm a spiritual person, not really, so much religious, just spiritual.
Mhm.
So whatever you guys believe in, the universe, whatever. And he did. And honestly, even being able to meet you, that is one of my testimonies of when I asked him to allow my steps and provide and put the resources in front of me and bring the women that I wanted to be surrounded by into my life and into my path. So
Yeah.
absolutely, I would love to
I love
join
that.
you. Um, and definitely get more people to your page as well. So, any last words for us before we roll out?
No, I mean, I just for a long time I didn't realize that healing is something that is real. That I could heal. I thought healing was for everybody else and that I was just missing something. And the truth is that we all can heal and we all deserve to be healed.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a journey.
Yeah.
Even if we think it's a destination, you are on a journey to that destination. Um, and so it's something we have to work and strive at. But
Yeah. I don't know why I just got so
acknowledge
emotional.
acceptance. It's a powerful thing when you think about where you've come from and where you are and how
Yeah.
much further you're going to go. And just hearing you speak from being a teenage mom to where you are now, again, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations and your success. I am rooting for you and your business. 12 years. Girl,
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back when we hang up because you are
Okay.
doing it. You
I know
are.
it's really hard to realize that I'm doing it sometimes. Yeah. It's just today's just been a day. I'm just like freaking raw today, raw and open. So yeah, you picked a
Well,
good day to have me on.
you got a new cheerleader because I'm here to
Oh,
remind you. You
thank
do.
you. And same
Absolutely.
to you. Yeah, I'm here for you.
Thank you. So yes, we'll connect after this. Guys, go to her website, stephshanks.com. It's in the comments. Her podcast, Unwritten, on Spotify and YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe. As always, it's been my pleasure to have you guys tune in. I appreciate you for being open and vulnerable and for your time tonight, Steph.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And so I look forward to connecting again. You guys have a wonderful evening and thanks for tuning in to Boss Talk with Empowerment Maven.